Hare Krishna, my name is Harmatma Das. I am serving in ISKCON Vrindavan since 2006, and the temple management of Vrindavan temple requested me to interview some of Srila Prabhupada's close associates who were intimately engaged in serving Srila Prabhupada when Srila Prabhupada was performing his final pastimes in 1977 here in his room. And today we have His Holiness B B Govinda Maharaj. Maharaj was the cook in ISKCON Vrindavan, and also Maharaj was present when Srila Prabhupada was going back to Godhead. So Maharaj, the GBC Executive Committee wants your views concerning the poison issue to help the devotees understanding the facts. So please kindly keep it simple and clear. And I have few questions for you. The first question is, were you in Vrindavan in October and November 1977 when Srila Prabhupada was here?
Yes. I was serving in Toronto at our center, and around June of 77, I decided to come to Vrindavan. The reason that I made that decision is because we had heard of Srila Prabhupada's declining health from January of 77. Srila Prabhupada basically was not giving so many public talks, and we had heard he was ill. And then in May of 77, Srila Prabhupada had gone to Rishikesh, and at one point in Rishikesh, he informed the devotees that he wanted to go to Vrindavan because Vrindavan was the place to die. So we were aware that His Divine Grace was quite ill, and I have always been a foot soldier in Srila Prabhupada's movement. I was a cook in Canada. I was never one of the managers who had access to Srila Prabhupada, hardly. I saw Srila Prabhupada maybe once a year. So I made the decision that I wanted to come to Vrindavan and take up service with the chance to be able to see His Divine Grace. So I was here, and I was here during the period that after Srila Prabhupada came back from London the last time, I would come to Srila Prabhupada's room every day and observe the situation there. And I was present when His Divine Grace left this world to return to Krishna's eternal pastimes.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj. The second question is, what made you come to Vrindavan at that time?
Well, I think I answered that,
Yes, that you answered.
in my
Yes.
first point.
Okay. And the next question is, were you aware that Srila Prabhupada came to Vrindavan at that time to conclude his pastimes on this planet?
Well, as I mentioned, when Srila Prabhupada was in Rishikesh, he became very ill at one point, and he informed his disciples, "Take me to Vrindavan. I wish that is the place to die." So certainly that concern was present amongst the devotees. When Srila Prabhupada came to Vrindavan at that time, I was, still not present here, but I was told that the devotees were unaware that that was the intent of Srila Prabhupada. And when Srila Prabhupada did arrive, he gave a very, very brief address, and he said that I may die. And he said, if I do die at this time, there is no loss because everything that needs to be known is present. I've said in my books and in my lectures. We were young, and at that age, 25, 26, 27, Many of us had not had experience of death. We were viewing Srila Prabhupada becoming weaker and weaker and weaker every day. But every day we were hoping from a miracle intervention from Krishna that the entire situation would be turned around. And I observed the devotees who were serving Prabhupada intimately. The whole thrust of their service was to somehow or other inspire Srila Prabhupada to remain in this world and not to die. And I've listened also, because since that time I've listened to the recorded room conversations from 1977, and you can practically hear in every recording that the devotees are pleading with Prabhupada not to go. So we were aware that that may happen, but we were always hoping that Krishna would intervene. In fact, there was that one instance where Srila Prabhupada was becoming so frustrated with the material situation that he just decided he was going to depart. And he had mentioned that when his father became indisposed at the end of his life, that his father stopped drinking water. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned that a man can live, I think he said 40 days without food and 4 days without water and 4 minutes without air. So when Prabhupada's father had become old and indisposed, he just stopped drinking, and he chose to leave in that way. So at a certain point, perhaps it was still in October, Srila Prabhupada just said, "I'm not going to drink." And it was a great crisis, because when he had been in England, the doctors had said that the reason for his ill health and deterioration was due to an advanced, degeneration of the kidneys because of diabetes. And it was required that Srila Prabhupada drink a certain amount of water every day to flush the kidneys, to flush the poisons that were accumulating in the kidneys. But here we have Prabhupada saying, "I'm not going to drink." And so it certainly seemed like a death knell, that if one has this condition, he refuses to drink, then death will come. And the devotees became very morose, and Srila Prabhupada was very adamant in his determination not to drink. And the devotees were pleading. And at one point, Srila Prabhupada said, "No, it's not in my hands. This is in the hands of Krishna." And the devotees were very morose. And then, perhaps later that day or the next day, Srila Prabhupada, he said, "No, actually, Krishna has told me the situation is in my hand." Then immediately all the senior devotees that were here, they gathered and they had like a meeting. And I was the cook, and immediately after cooking the breakfast and the lunch for the devotees, I would go and I would have my shower, dress myself, and I would come and I would sit in Srila Prabhupada's room. And when all the senior Vaishnavas had gone to eat, then I would sit there and I would sing for Prabhupada. So I was sitting there alone, and then all of a sudden the doors flew open, and all the senior devotees came charging into the room, and they surrounded Srila Prabhupada's bed. And then they had chosen Kirtananda to speak on behalf of the devotees, and Kirtananda, he broke down, and he started weeping. And then finally he was pleading with Prabhupada. He was saying, "Prabhupada, if it is within your hands, then you must stay." And then Srila Prabhupada said, "Is this your decision?" And then Prabhupada agreed, "Yes, I will stay." So really the mood of all the devotees here was a mood of really profound care and love and attention. For all of us who were living in ISKCON Vrindavan at that time, the atmosphere was so, thick with Prabhupada consciousness and Prabhupada concern and Prabhupada care. And I saw that from his team of devotees who were serving. His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami, Bhavananda Prabhu, His Holiness Bhakti Shru Maharaj, day and night, 24 hours a day, they were just absorbed in thinking what we can do to care and facilitate the care for Srila Prabhupada. Yes, I saw Tamal Krishna Maharaj constantly thinking how to facilitate every request that Srila Prabhupada had. At a certain point, Srila Prabhupada was thinking that he should shift to Mayapur. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he made, so many elaborate arrangements in order to go to Mayapur. And then Srila Prabhupada gave up that idea. I know that in the very end, just the day before Srila Prabhupada passed away, His Holiness Bhakti Hridaya Ban Maharaj came here to see Srila Prabhupada. And they spoke, and it seemed that they made amends for many years of bad feelings that were going between the two of them. And at that point, Srila Prabhupada, he introduced Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Bhavananda to Ban Maharaj, and he said, "This is Tamal Krishna Maharaj, this is Bhavananda." He said, "They are my right hand and my left hand. They have done so much for me, and I love them so much." So for me to even entertain these ideas that somebody on Prabhupada's serving team administered poison to Srila Prabhupada is inconceivable. I can't think in this way. I saw these people serving. I saw the love in which they served Srila Prabhupada, and it's inconceivable.
Yeah, that's the last question. There is some speculation that Srila Prabhupada was poisoned by his disciple, and what is your feeling about that?
I think this is.
Yes.
I think this is an untruth. I think that it's based on the mood of service, the mood of love that I saw amongst all of these very dedicated disciples of Srila Prabhupada. It's inconceivable to think that any of these people would even think to do something like that to His Divine Grace.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.